Hello there, you are welcome back to our series on marriage. It's been great. This is about the last segment that we are doing on marriage, and we have done a lot. We have talked to the singles, and we have brought out the qualities of a good home. We've also been able to address the subject of marrying an unbelieving partner, having an unbelieving partner when you are already married. And then now we are talking about money, M-O-N-E-Y, because money, finances is a major base of marriage. When you look at most homes that have gone by and broken, most of the time when you look at the basis of that indifference and that crisis, it always goes round to money matters. So that's why I want my guests to help us out and trash out, and I call it financial planning for homes.
Amen. Money is a really important topic to talk about, because without money you can basically do nothing. You need money to pay the bills, money to send the kids to school, money to do a lot of things. But so I believe that that's part of the thing you should discover while you're dating, because every home is different. Every home is run differently. In some homes, the husband, they put their money, their resources together, and they take care of things. In some other homes, they have separate accounts, and then they draw from another account to be able to take care of the home. But in the traditional home, the man's take care of everything, and then if the woman, whatever the woman wants to support here and there, she feel like she's not obligated to support. For me personally, I believe because of the age we're living in, and because a lot of our women are educated and they have the resources to be able to make money, I believe the woman should actually support the man. But if everybody's situation is different, like I said, if you believe that in your situation your husband is making enough money and doesn't need your money, it's another difference. It's a different circumstances. But if you're still in a situation where you guys are still growing, you're still young, you're still investing, and whatever you have will come a long way to help the home. If your husband is investing and doing things, there's nothing wrong in the mother or the wife taking care of the home. So there just has to be a balance, and it has to be selfless. It takes us back to us being friends. Are you friend with this person? Are you selfless in serving him? We're helpmates to one another. We're there to help them, to assist them. So you have to always remember that. So when you remember that, you're not like, this is my money, my money, my money. It's our money. It's our money. But most of the time, I think it's an element of fear. Women are afraid mostly that what if he leaves me? What if he gets another woman? What if he has a girlfriend? Especially in the society in Nigeria. So that's always an element. But when you're trusting and you're in a relationship, you should do it with your whole heart and serve them. But my thing is, I'm gonna love this man. I'm gonna support him in whichever way I can. And if tomorrow comes and he decides to turn his back on me, then I'm gonna leave him for God to judge, to be the judge of it. But when I come before God, I'll be able to say I did my part, going back to well done, welcome. And there's really nothing we're taking out of this world. Everything stops here. Money, you can't take anything. So when you have that perception, you know that money is not something you should divide over.
Yeah, the subject of money is very subjective. They have to be very careful about it. In marriage, we go through different stages. There'll be a stage where is the wife supporting the marriage heavily. A stage might come is the husband that is doing all. And the time might come we're doing it together. And that goes back to the topic we've discussed in the previous segment about communication. You see, if you go to all those advanced countries, they do something that is called the State of the Union. And they want to know what is going on. So that's what me and my wife would do. And we look at what we're making and all the expenses we have and what we're going to do. Just like the country they will discuss with the citizens what their budget for each year. So money in the real sense of it becomes the hindrance, it becomes the obstacle that disrupts a lot of marriages because people don't know how to manage money. That's why we have to communicate together, learn how to manage money. And once we know how to manage money properly, then it won't become a problem of a marriage. But the wife is the husband's helpmate. The wife should always consider their own ability to make money too. If my wife is making more money than me, I have no problem with that. I just know that she's going to take more responsibility in the house. And in our home, we don't have my money, your money. It's our money. And we have our own plan, our own strategy that we use in the house. For example, we don't live on two income. We try as much as possible to live on one income. You understand? And some days, sometimes we might go through some seasons why we need to augment our income and do whatever we need to do. We do that. So money doesn't become the issue in our marriage because we've been planning, we save systematically, we invest, we spend wisely, we're responsible with our spending, and we don't buy what we don't need. That's what one of our bishop has been teaching us. My bishop always tells us to spend wisely and responsibly. Don't buy what you don't need. Don't spend what you cannot afford to spend. Live within your means. And how do you know what your means are if you don't communicate with your wife? Your wife goes out there, spends whatever she wants to spend. You go your own way, spend whatever you want to spend. Then you get the family or the marriage in a lot of problems. So because we don't want to do that, we are creating a time where we come together and we discuss our income and all our expenses on what we can do, how we want to do it. And then at the end of the day, our communication together help to strengthen the marriage because we're doing everything as in unity together. That's the most important thing. Anything we do together, there's more strength in it and we get successful.
Also, let me just add this. We have to always remember not to look at the Joneses. That means the Joneses is like somebody that is next door. Don't look at another person's lifestyle. You don't know how they get their money. You don't know how they live their life. Don't look at this lady. She drives what kind of car? She drives the Benz. Oh my God, her husband gave it to her. So you don't know how they're running their marriage. So don't compare your marriage to another person's marriage. Don't compare what your husband or what your wife is doing to what the other person is doing. So you have to know that this is my marriage, this is what we have decided to do, and that's how we're going to run our finances. And try as much as possible. There's some things you can't share with so many people because they don't know your way of life. They don't know what you have decided with your husband. So you don't have to, let's say I come to an agreement with something with my husband and I call Folu, this is what me and Sunday said, can you believe Sunday said this? And then at the end of the day, Folu said, my husband doesn't do that though. I don't know why you agree with that with him. So you have to just iron it out with your husband. You guys have to come to an agreement together. Two shall become one. Whatsoever God has joined together, let no man. That man includes you, includes me, includes him. Let no man put asunder. So we have to learn to keep everything in the family, and even in the area of finances. And at times you can't be too strict. You have to learn to compromise. I was born, I was the last of my family. Then I think that's one of the reasons why I was very rigid, when I was younger. Because as I grew up, as I continued to learn in my marriage, I learned to let go of things. I learned to know that there's some things that you just have to let go of. It doesn't matter. You have to learn to compromise. Marriage is about compromise. You can't have your way all the time. And sometimes the wife might have a fantastic idea, but the husband might not agree with that idea at that particular time. So you have to learn, even though you think the idea is the best, you have to learn to just, if that's what my husband feels, I'm going to let it go for now. And then with time, but my husband is a very wise man and he's a very prideful man. He has learned to say, maybe you were right. Maybe you should have done it the way he said it. And that will not be the point for me to say, didn't I tell you? You didn't listen to me. Show Tirina. No, I won't say that. I'll be like, yeah, it's one of those things. Next time we just know how to do it differently. So we have to learn to compromise. And then another thing, my husband, initially when he started to do it, I used to get upset. He would be like, you are very good in that area. You go and take care of it. I was like, why me? I have to do that. I have to do this. I have to do this. You know, but initially I was like, how come I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, why can't you do it? Then with time, they called me aside and they said it's because you're doing excellently well. So if you're doing it well, why should I have to do it when I know I will not do it as well as you will do it? So with the length of time we've been in our marriage, we have learned to know, okay, Sunday is good in this area, Sherri is good in this area. This is Sherri's territory, let her take care of it.
That is really nice. That is very, very exposing. We've been able, in just about 15 to 20 minutes, learn what a whole course, maybe Lagos Business School will be doing that, financial planning the home. It's a lot. When my brother was saying, don't buy things that you don't need, and then my sister was saying, don't look at the next family. Watch what you have. Sit down together and manage your resources. Most of the time it's because we are not talking about it. Most of the time. We are not talking about what comes in and how we want to project. And sometimes because we do not even have a vision for our families. Most people are married, they don't know where they are going, what they want to get out of life, what they want for their children. So we still have to come back to what is being said. Let's sit down and talk about it and plan ahead. God will help us. We are so blessed. We have had them for 6 series now and more, and we still have them in the house. So viewers there, if you have a question, you need us to discuss something in another season. We had the last season that was in February, and we will look up to another one before the end of the year. So if you have questions, you have things you want us to talk about, to be glad to be there for you. Once again, I want to thank my guests, the whole of Nigeria, the whole of the world, because the good thing is that we are being watched. We are being watched all over the world. It's not only Nigeria. We are being watched all over the world. It's an internet TV, and from 222 countries all over the world, you can just go to gracebroadcastingnetwork.com and you'll be able to see us. So that's one of the good things about it. So I want to thank you so much for being a guest, for touching the lives of people and changing our lives. God bless you, and we look forward to having you again very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.